Protocol requires the Prime Minister to ask the Queen to dissolve Parliament and trigger the general election process. And so Theresa May dutifully made the trip to the palace and then back to Downing Street. But with the niceties done with, she launched an extraordinary attack.
Britain's negotiating position in Europe has been misrepresented in the continental press. The European Commission's negotiating stance has hardened. Threats against Britain have been issued by European politicians and officials. All of these acts have been deliberately timed to affect the result of the general election that will take place on the 8th of June.
No specific evidence was provided, no examples were given. But the Prime Minister was clearly referring to last week's meeting with the European Commission chief, in which he is reported to have described her as being on another galaxy and deluding herself over the Brexit process. Concern about the British attitude towards the negotiations was echoed by the EU's chief negotiator on Wednesday. Michel Barnier announced the EU's opening stance on Brexit, a two-phase process. First, an orderly withdrawal deal, and only then talks about future trade. And with the UK yet to submit its formal negotiating positions, he expressed grave doubts about the timetable.
The UK's decision to leave the European Union has now caused 10 months of uncertainty. We need to remove that uncertainty. It is high time to start negotiating. As soon as the UK is ready to come to the table, we shall start negotiating. The clock is ticking.
Just the divorce will be hard enough. But what the UK wants is also to establish what the future relationship will be. And that's going to be very, very demanding. We know that trade deals take years to settle. And even though the British side is saying, well, we start inside the EU, therefore it should be very straightforward to have a trade deal, neglects the fact that rules keep evolving.
The EU's negotiating directives have 5 main points. Firstly, securing the reciprocal rights of EU and UK citizens living abroad. Settlement of the UK's financial commitments. Agreement on borders, particularly regarding Northern Ireland. There's a chapter on administrative issues. And finally, the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice. Here in Britain, tensions have been ramped up with reports in the Financial Times that Britain might have to pay as much as $110 billion before it's allowed to leave the Union. The two sides now have fewer than 700 days to achieve either a deal or no deal. Paul Brennan, Al Jazeera, London.